Xi's darkest secret. President Xi Jinping's rise to power within the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, has been nothing short of controversial. He was appointed as the General Secretary of the CCP in November 2012, and since then he has consolidated his power within the party and the country. Xi's rise to power was a surprise to many in the party. He was not the frontrunner for the position, and many of his colleagues were more experienced and had better connections within the party. However, Xi was able to win over the support of the powerful factions within the party, and he was eventually appointed as the General Secretary. Since taking office, Xi has implemented a number of policies that have been criticized for their negative impact on Chinese citizens. One of his most controversial policies has been his crackdown on corruption, which has resulted in the arrest and conviction of numerous party officials. While many applaud Xi's efforts to root out corruption, others argue that the crackdown has been used as a tool to eliminate political rivals and consolidate his power within the party. Another controversial aspect of Xi's rule has been his inner circle of advisors and cabinet members. Some of his closest aides have been accused of corruption and abuse of power. One of the most high-profile cases involved former security chief Zhao Yongkang, who was sentenced to life in prison for corruption in 2015. Other members of Xi's inner circle have also faced corruption charges, leading to accusations that the president is not doing enough to address corruption within his own team. In this video, we will look at this secrecy that shrouds the CCP and Xi Jinping's actions, and also go into depth about aspects of Xi's cabinet as a whole. Finally, we'll examine the many sinister ways the CCP and Xi himself extradites their power on the rest of the Chinese populace. The secrecy that shrouds the CCP and Xi Jinping's actions. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and its leader Xi Jinping have long been known for their secrecy when it comes to their actions and policies. This has led to a great deal of speculation and concern from both domestic and international observers about what is really going on behind the scenes. One of the reasons for this secrecy is the CCP's historical approach to governance. Since its founding in 1949, the party has maintained a tight grip on information, media, and public discourse. This has allowed the CCP to control the narrative and suppress dissent, ensuring that the party's decisions and actions are presented in the most positive light possible. Another reason for the CCP's secrecy is its increasing authoritarianism under Xi Jinping's leadership. Since taking office in 2012, Xi has consolidated power and taken steps to increase control over every aspect of Chinese society, including the media, education, and the internet. This has made it increasingly difficult for journalists, academics, and activists to access information and speak out against the government. Examples of this secrecy and control can be seen in many areas of Chinese society. For example, the Chinese government tightly controls the internet through its Great Firewall, which blocks access to many foreign websites and censors online content that is critical of the CCP. The government also restricts foreign journalists from reporting on sensitive issues, such as human rights abuses and protests, and have jailed activists and lawyers who speak out against the government. Another example is the CCP's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the early stages of the outbreak, the CCP silenced doctors and journalists who were warning about the severity of the virus and punished those who spoke out about it. The government also censored online discussions about the outbreak and downplayed the severity of the situation, leading to delays in the international community's response. The CCP's secrecy and control also extend to its international relations. China's Belt and Road Initiative, which aims to expand China's influence through infrastructure projects in other countries, has been criticized for lacking transparency and accountability. Many of these projects have been shrouded in secrecy, with little information provided to local communities or international observers about their environmental impact, funding sources, or long-term sustainability. Xi Jinping's cabinet is made up of a small group of powerful individuals who are known for their loyalty to the president. These are powerful groups of individuals who hold key positions in the Chinese government. While they are seen as important players in the president's efforts to modernize the country and consolidate power, some members of the cabinet have been involved in controversial and negative exploits that have raised questions about their influence on Xi's decisions. One such member is Yang Jiechi, a Chinese senior diplomat and politician who served as director of the office of the Central Foreign Affairs Commission, highest diplomatic position in the country between 2013 and 2022. He also served as a member of the Politburo of the Chinese Communist Party between 2017 and 2022. However, he has been involved in a number of controversies over the years. Yang has been accused of taking a hardline stance on Taiwan and other sensitive issues, which has made him a controversial figure both inside and outside of China. In a meeting with U.S. officials in Alaska in March 2021, Yang delivered a strongly worded speech in which he criticized the U.S. for its human rights record and accused it of interfering in China's internal affairs. The speech was seen as a signal of China's growing assertiveness on the world stage and raised concerns about the future of U.S.-China relations. Another controversial member of Xi's cabinet is Wang Chen, a Chinese journalist and politician who served as the first-ranked vice chairperson of the Standing Committee of the 13th National People's Congress. He was a member of the 19th Politburo of the Chinese Communist Party. He served as director of State Council Information Office from 2008 to 2013. And as the Secretary General of the 12th National People's Congress Standing Committee from 2013 to 2018. Wang is a veteran propaganda official who has been involved in a number of campaigns to control information and shape public opinion in China. He is widely seen as a hardliner on issues of free speech and press freedom. Under Wang's leadership, the Chinese government has cracked down on dissenting voices, including journalists, bloggers, and activists. The government has also tightened its control over the internet with the introduction of a new cybersecurity law that gives authorities greater power to monitor and censor online activity. These actions have raised concerns about the state of freedom of speech and press freedom in China, and have led some analysts to suggest that Xi's government is becoming increasingly authoritarian. In the context of the recent U.S.-Taiwan issues, it is difficult to say exactly how these controversial numbers of Xi's cabinet have influenced the president's decisions. However, it is clear that they play an important role in shaping the government's approach to foreign policy and national security. For example, Yang Jiechi has been involved in a number of high-level talks with the United States on issues such as trade and North Korea. His confrontational style has sometimes led to tensions between the two countries, but he is seen as a skilled negotiator who is able to articulate China's position effectively. Meanwhile, Wang Chen's role in shaping China's propaganda and media strategy is likely to have an impact on how the country presents itself to the outside world. As tensions between China and the United States continue to rise, the government's messaging on issues such as Taiwan and the South China Sea is likely to become increasingly important. Many sinister ways the CCP and Xi himself extradites their power on the rest of the Chinese populace. The Chinese Communist Party, CCP, under the leadership of Xi Jinping, has increasingly wielded its power in sinister ways to control the population and maintain its grip on power. From cracking down on dissent to implementing a high-tech surveillance state, the CCP has employed a range of tactics to maintain its control over the Chinese populace. One of the most well-known tactics is the use of censorship to control the flow of information. The CCP has long maintained strict control over the media and the internet, blocking websites and social media platforms that it deems to be critical of the party or its leaders. The Great Firewall of China is a well-known example of this, as it blocks access to a number of websites that are widely available in other countries. Another way the CCP exerts its power is through surveillance. The Chinese government has invested heavily in surveillance technologies, such as facial recognition and artificial intelligence, which it uses to monitor the population and track potential dissenters. This includes the use of cameras in public places, as well as monitoring of social media and other online activity. Perhaps most sinister of all, the CCP has employed tactics such as torture and forced disappearances to suppress dissent. Human rights organizations have documented numerous cases of individuals being detained without trial and subjected to physical and psychological abuse. The government has also been accused of forcibly extracting confessions from individuals and denying them access to legal representation. All of these tactics are employed to maintain the CCP's power over the Chinese populace. Xi Jinping has been particularly aggressive in his use of these tactics, as he seeks to consolidate his power and ensure the survival of the party. However, these tactics have come at a significant cost to the Chinese people, who are often denied basic freedoms and subjected to human rights abuses. It's important to note that not all Chinese people support the CCP's actions. There are many individuals who seek greater freedom and democracy, and who have spoken out against the party's abuses. However, the risks of doing so are high, as the government often responds harshly to dissent. As a result, many Chinese people are forced to navigate a difficult balancing act between expressing their views and avoiding punishment.